backgrounds. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage Vice President J.D. Vance.
I am honored to introduce a friend of mine, somebody that I have just been so thrilled to see ascend American politics. His story is uniquely American. Growing up in poverty, difficult circumstances, serving his country honorably and heroically in the United States Marine Corps, being an America First champion in Congress, and somebody who I know will bring this vision to make America great again. Join me in welcoming J.D. Vance, everybody.
Oh, miss, I got a question. Are you ready?
Oh my God, just get to the point, get to talking.
And realized that my dear friend had been very seriously injured. Now, in the West Wing at that time, we actually thought that Charlie had a chance. We didn't know that he was where, I don't know where. But I love you, honey. Have those babies if you're able to. That's something Charlie said all the time. I'm sure there are a lot of people who will join the military in the future, and we're... Now, I want to get to questions, and I want to leave plenty of time for questions, but I want to make just a couple of final points about Charlie's legacy in politics. The most important thing about Charlie is that he was a great husband and a great father. Erica told me probably 12 hours after Charlie had been pronounced dead, able to say that my husband was always months of his life. Now, here's the thing. Charlie was dying in unnecessary foreign conflicts, but Charlie Kirk reminded in business or in politics, a lot of you will run campaigns, a lot of you will work on campaigns. Country, as I know all of you do, don't just complain about social media, get up and get involved in the United States of America, and that is perhaps the greatest contribution that you can make to...
I couldn't find it, man. Let me just go on X.
Obviously, Christians do believe that. There are some significant theological disagreements between Christians and Jews.
I can't even find it. Of course they don't. You go to the video and he's not saying anything about it. Great. Absolutely great. Can't find what he's talking about on the internet.
Charlie Kirk's legacy is getting in...
Whatever.
You probably wouldn't be opposed to having some extra help around.
He was talking about how, I have it on X, but I wanted to hear it from a different site. It says when people say that Israel is somehow manipulating or controlling the president of the United States, they're not controlling this president of the United States. He said that. I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes you can't trust X all the time, man. But I wanted to see what he was gonna say about that. But that was I skipped through it. I probably missed it. I don't feel like looking for it. But you know, we say Amalek's running the country, so you know a lot of people believe that, especially by where the money's going. You know, you look into it. Even in Argentina, the president over there, small hat. Ukraine, small hat. Israel, small hats. Let's look it up. As a matter of fact. Is the president of Argentina a Jewish man? Is the president of Argentina a Jewish man? President of Argentina is Javier Milei, who has a public devotion to Judaism and has said he has Jewish heritage. Although he was raised Roman Catholic, he has expressed a desire to convert to Judaism, but feels his presidential duties prevent him from observing the necessary requirements, such as the Sabbath. And it's not that he's Jewish. It's just a coincidence that $20 billion was given unto him. Okay. So let's look at Vladimir. Is Vladimir Zelensky Jewish? That's not how you spell Zelensky. It's Vladimir Zelensky. Yes, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is of Jewish descent. He was born into a Jewish family and identifies as a Jewish. Although he was raised in a secular household, his Jewish heritage became a significant talking point during his 2019 election, especially when Russian officials falsely claimed Ukraine was run by Nazis. So there you go. So that's $20 billion going over there to Argentina, billions of dollars going over there to Ukraine. So the reason why I was looking this up, because it looks like these students were asking him about it. It's too low.
Israel, sometimes they have similar interests to the United States, and we're going to work with them. In that case, sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. In this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the President of the United States could only...
Let me see if I can find it better. J.D. Vance. Israel is not controlled by, America is not controlled by Israel. So people are making these conclusions. They're coming up, seeing that this could be a, let me see it. Of course, you can't. Yeah, here it is. Word.
I'm a Christian man, and I'm just confused why that there's this notion that we might have owe Israel something, or that they're our greatest ally, or that we have to support this multi-hundred-billion-dollar foreign aid package to Israel to cover this, to quote Charlie Kirk, ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm just confused why this idea has come around, considering the fact that not only does their religion not agree with ours, but also openly supports the prosecution of ours.
Yeah, so...
Answer that one. Answer that one. You want to talk about Kirk?
A few things about this. First of all, when the President of the United States says America first, that means that he pursues the interests of Americans first. That is our entire foreign policy. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have alliances, that you're not going to work with other countries from time to time, and that is what the president believes, is that Israel, sometimes they have similar interests to the United States, and we're going to work with them. In that case, sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. In this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the president of the United States could only get that peace deal done by actually being willing to apply leverage to the state of Israel. So when people say that Israel is somehow manipulating or controlling the president of the United States, they're not controlling this president of the United States, which is one of the reasons why we'd be able to have some of the success that we've had in the Middle East. Now, you ask about, sort of Jews disagreeing with Christians on certain religious ideas. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the realities is that Jews do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. Obviously, Christians do believe that. There are some significant theological...
Whoa, hold on. Ain't that's huge. You can't just skip over that. Why are you working with them then? If that's your case. So, this is for edification purposes, but, it just goes to show you that, man, you can't listen to these people are full of shit, man. John 3, verse 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already. So they're already condemned if they don't believe in the Son, because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And you don't even believe in the name. If you think his name is Jesus, then clearly you don't study. Clearly you don't know the Lord. Okay? And this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. That's why they can't accept Yahushua. Because in order to accept Yahushua, you got to accept his people. And what you've done to his people is destroy them. Okay? This false guise of Christianity. You know, the way they say Christian so much in the Bible, you would think it would say it multiple times in the Bible. There's like 2 verses with the word Christian in it. I think I spelled Christian wrong. Christ chin. I don't know who's worse, Amalek or you Edomites, man. All of y'all are Edomites, but both of y'all ideology is false and fake, because y'all don't believe salvation's for Israel, and Israel don't believe in your false Messiah. So now y'all, but y'all both the same people. Okay, that's Satan arguing against Satan. Okay, let me grab that as a matter of fact. Mark, is it Mark 3 and 22? Nope. Mark 3 and 23, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against himself, that kingdom cannot stand. So, yeah, if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Amalek, y'all are all one people, man. Amalek don't even claim to be like, he think he's separate from you, and you think you're separate from him, but in all actuality, y'all are the same people. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And the house of Esau, it can't stand, man. All these different ideologies, they're definitely catching up with one another, and they're going to destroy each other. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. So y'all disagree religiously, you disagree economically, politically. Okay, that's going to lead to your destruction. And you're just not the people, man. These are the 2 precepts where the word Christian is being used. Acts 26 and 28, then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. Okay, let's see what this means. Refers to a section. Oh, let's get the meaning. Acts 26 and 28 explains King Agrippa's response, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian, which is understood as either a half-hearted, cynical remark or genuine hesitation rather than an expression of near complete belief. The commentary emphasized that almost is a tragic position, reflecting Agrippa's eternal conflict and ultimate failure to fully commit to Hamashiach due to a political pressure, pride, or fear of consequence. The verse highlights the human resistance to fulfill commitment to faith. Hey, he's probably going off. I probably got to go to that chapter. 1 Peter 4, verse 16. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf. Okay, because first of all, being a Christian is a derogatory term. Was being a Christian a derogatory term? Yes, Christian was initially a derogatory term used by outsiders to mock followers of Yahushua, likely meaning little Christ or Christ follower as an insult. The term originated in Antioch around 37 to 40 AD. And early believers initially used other names like the Way or Disciples. However, Christians eventually adopted the name as a badge of honor, and by the 2nd century, they were proudly identifying as Christians. So it transformed to something like that, but at the same time, it's a derogatory term. And I bet you a lot of y'all don't even know that. Acts 13 in verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger, and Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Okay, so here it is, man. Simeon that was called nigger. Okay, these are some of the first Christians. You know, y'all talking about that? Y'all hate niggas, right? You know, this goes to show you, man, you guys have no clue about what's written in this Bible. The first missionary journey, you had a nigger in there, Simeon, that was called nigger. Okay, let's see what the blue letter says before they get rid of it.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Hey, he said it, not me. He said it with the ER, meaning black. Surname of the prophet Simeon. Okay, a Christian nigger. All right. Y'all ain't talking about him. You know, so it just goes to the fact that y'all don't know what's going on in this Bible. And the Lord's black too. And you don't accept that. So you don't accept the Lord. They don't accept that there was a son of God, Amalek. Y'all don't accept his color and his name. So both of y'all going off, and both of y'all are going to be destroyed because of it.
Around the house.
As a matter of fact, let me finish what he was saying.
Logical disagreements between Christians and Jews. My attitude is, let's have those conversations. Let's have those disagreements when we have them. But if there are shared...
Listen, man, the only thing you should be doing right now is rejoicing and being happy that you're still in power, because the Lord that's going to come back, he's going to destroy you. He's going to take away your kingdom. Same person that he's going to take it all away. Not just yours, Amalek, Moab, everybody's. There's not going to be any authority. But y'all sitting here voting for somebody, all right, who doesn't uphold the law, statutes, and commandments. And you don't, and first of all, y'all don't even want the law, statutes, and commandments to be implemented. Okay? It tells you in Matthew the 5th chapter that he didn't come to change the law. So the laws that you hate so much, he would implement down here. Okay? And that would cause you to be you would be in a tight position, man. Okay? Tight position to all this non-binary gender system that you got. That's all going to be destroyed. All right? And you're not speaking up against any of this. You're for it.
areas of interest, we ought to be willing to do that too. For example, I really care about, one thing I really care about is the preservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Christians believe that that is the site where Jesus Christ was crucified, and also that his tomb is right there as well. My attitude is, if we can work with our friends in Israel to make sure that Christians have safe access to that site, that's an obvious area of common interest. I am fine with that. What I'm not okay with is any country coming before the interests of American citizens, and it is important for all of us, assuming we're American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's what we're going to do. That's what we try to do every single day, I promise you. Thank you.
At the water Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for allowing me to find this video, so you don't put I'm not putting any words into the vice president's mouth, because these websites, man. I'm telling you, a lot of these Mario Norfall. I'm glad he shared that, but I want to share this: the world's first humanoid robot designed for housekeeping.
You probably wouldn't be opposed to having some extra help around the house, but how would you feel about a robot taking on your chores? I want to introduce you to Neo. This is the latest creation by a tech company, 1X. It's billed as the world's first consumer-ready robot designed to transform life at home. Oh, making coffee. The company says Neo can complete the tasks you see there, opening doors, folding laundry, tidying spaces. And I'll reiterate, making your coffee. It's available now for pre-order. Here for more is Jacob Ward, tech journalist and host of the Rip Current podcast. I'm in immediate need, apparently, of a cup of coffee. How big of a deal is the arrival of a consumer-ready robot like this? And do you think that people would utilize this, welcome it into their home?
I mean, it's absolutely a revolution in terms of what a robot can do. I was once the editor-in-chief of Popular Science back before 2013, and back then, you know, just a single digit of a robot's hand would cost what the sticker price of this thing is going to be, which is about $20,000. Forever, right, our robots have been ones that have been specifically...
If you think this thing is made so it can make you coffee, you're a fool, okay? I think the price of them are like $50K. So they go for about the price of a car, man. People are going to be using this, and you know what? You're going to pay for your own destruction. All right? That's what the Lord's going to have you do. He's going to have you pay for it. A lot of y'all going to get married to it. You know, this place is done, man. Place is through. You know, but it's all part of the program. The Lord this is that sword that's being furbished. Now, he might implement it as something as... it's peaceful, it's for your benefit, but you're never supposed to trust your enemy, man. He's full of it, all right? He's definitely full of it, and if you believe him, you're going to be destroyed.
Committed to a very single task, right? Grabbing one very single task, right? Grabbing one piece and putting it into a car chassis. And that's because we haven't been able to build robots at an affordable price that could do something like deal with a rack full of clothes or deal with the coffee that you want so much, Kana. And so this idea that you for $20,000 can pull that off is kind of incredible. On the other hand, right, $20,000 is quite a lot to pay up front for something like this. And the company says that it's going to need human operators to teach certain tasks to the robot remotely, because it's not always going to know your coffee maker or how to get a few dishes into your dishwasher, Kana.
Oh, the specifics of your house. But in terms of cost and ability, let's look 5-10 years down the road. I mean, how quickly is this thing going to go? How low could the price drop? And do you see this as something common in households?
Well, I think the big thing to think about here, right, is that as we think right now about AI, which is what I spend so much of my time thinking around, you know, we've been talking about the threat to jobs when it comes to knowledge work, right? And we've thought, well, but being a barber or being a plumber, that job is safe. Well, I would just point out, this thing is evidence that all sorts of automation is coming for all sorts of work. And so on the one hand, I think this could be really good. We're in a position where we're going to need an incredible amount of help at home. Boomers are about to become the absolutely number one category of population as they get older. We don't have the help they're going to need. Is this going to stand in for that? Not really clear. But what we're seeing here, of course, is that the price of an actual robot that can come in and manipulate things in such a way that they could conceivably replace a human worker, that's all been science fiction in the past, but that's becoming real now, Kayla.
Right, it's a good point there, how this could look for someone like a nurse or a caretaker or people in need of those folks. Jake Ward, it's always wonderful to have you on. Thank you for being here with us.
Appreciate it.
Don't get me wrong, some of the things, you know, in a righteous society, having hope to assist, yeah, but this is Esau, man. Okay, don't think he doesn't have some back door in there to kill your ass with it, man. That's Esau for you. Ezekiel 21 and the instrument of God's judgment. In verse 18, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, also thou son of man, appoint thee 2 ways, that the sword of the king of Babylon may come. Both twain shall come forth out of one land. And choose thou a place, choose it at the head of the way to the city. Appoint a way that the sword may come to Rabbah of the Ammonites, and to Judah and Jerusalem the defense. For the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the head of the 2 ways, to use divination. He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver. That's not what I'm looking for. It's up more. Parable of the sword of the Lord. Where is it? Yeah, Ezekiel 21 and 8. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened, and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Excuse me. So, ultimately, it's talking about the thermonuclear missiles. All right, that's the furbished sword that's being, excuse me, that's being sharpened. They're becoming more modernized to get through the different capabilities that, excuse me, that these other, these nations got defense systems that this is starting to bypass. As a matter of fact, North Korea just tested a new nuclear testing. They tested another missile ahead of Trump coming over there to South Korea. I like it. I like that. What's his name? Kim Jong-un. Because I think he really understands who Esau is, man. I think he out of all of them, he's the one that, like, when he come over there, he starts testing missiles, man. Like, he ain't fucking around with Esau. And plus, he's like the most probably hated country out of them all. And he's like, you know what, man? I pretty much can do whatever the hell I want because he's not relying on anybody to help him out, man. That he rules. He got a rigorous rulership over there, man. If you ain't joining the military, you pretty much screwed over there. You're going to have to fight to be over there. North Korea, they make fun of them because their military's old. But you rather have old or very young and weak. Young and weak, or I bet you the old men over there are stronger than the military over here. I was watching the military over here. I'm thinking they probably couldn't even fuck with one of those North Koreans on a hand-to-hand. One-on-one. You get your weakest North Korean, I get my weakest North Korean. Military, and we let them just shoot the ones to the death and see who survives, man. I bet you the old man will get the upper hand. But the sword also being furbished is his technology, and that's what's getting sharper. Okay, sharpness goes into how smart it is. Okay, and it's for a sore slaughter. Ultimately, it's for the elect. All right, I think I'm finished with that.
And this is not good at the baby them day here. We need. And this is not good at the baby them day here. We need help. We're tired of this.
We have a 4-year-old.
We're tired of this.
4-year-old.
Look, man, we also.
Look at your hair, though. You got that yellow thin hair. Okay. I wanted to see what was going on with Benji, man. Y'all over there. Leviticus 13:30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and it is a dry scale, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And that's what she has on her head, that yellow hair. That'd be a form of leprosy in ancient times. Leviticus 13:32. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scale spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scale be not in sight deeper than the skin. So, if the hair is deeper than the skin, then you have leprosy. If it doesn't, after a couple of days, then he'll pronounce you clean. Leviticus 13:36. Then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scale be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair. He is unclean. Okay, if the scale be spread in the skin. Okay, looking at your hair. So long story short, you would be considered unclean. Even though she's not technically unclean or she had leprosy, but spiritually looking at her, something's wrong with her, man. Having that, doing that. Okay, she's been influenced. That's a spirit on her. Okay, trying to be like the rest of the heathen. This represents the Benjamites. This is the Lord's beloved right here. But a lot of us they don't know who they are. And you're lucky that you're even alive and you survived the storm, because I'm sure if he's sending Category 5 today, it's going to get worse than that. It's going to get worse than just this.
The baby them can't be it. No, we can't be it. We're gonna style this. We need help. We need help. The place needs to clear out. This is not good. This can't go. Watch it. Can't go. Clear money water. Watch it. In our house? Come on, man. This is not good for it. Yo. From last time, nobody not sleep. Watch that. Watch that. Yo. Idiot. Yeah, look. Me shop everything. Like, you have to get serious. That thing can't go help.
Damn.
Hey, this way. Hello, this way.
At least you still got your life, man.
This way.
Unbelievable.
This way, right here. This way,
Yep.
right here,
This is just terrible.
right here. In there, sort of, you look here.
Oh my Lord.
Everything lift up. This side way. This side way. We need help to take them out. They no good.
Indeed. I'm gonna walk back out, okay? But thank you for showing me this. I'm gonna have to go back to our vehicle because we have a live report coming up, and we're gonna try to get the.
You're going to ask Esau for help. What about all these foreign countries that are in Jamaica? They should help your ass. You let them in there. Man arrested after Facebook comment quoting President Duck.
President Trump cost a man his freedom. Part of a sheriff's new explanation was just contradicted by police. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. Larry Bushart has been in jail since September 21st. His bond is $2 million. The Perry County Sheriff's Office claimed he threatened mass violence at a school. News 2's Kel Smith reports Bushart seemed confused when police told him.
This is 38 days ago.
Can we speak with Larry again?
Lexington police are about to arrest Larry Bushart. His supporters say he is a retired law enforcement officer. He is also critical of the Trump administration. Just on the day of his arrest, he posted dozens of memes to Facebook.
Hey, Mr. Larry.
Yes.
So, Perry County has called back again, okay? And they've ended up issuing a warrant for you, okay? So you're gonna have to come with us. We'll get you booked in, we'll get all this figured out, and then you'll have to take it up with them in their court, okay?
Okay.
We gotta come in with you if you're gonna go back in, though.
That's fine. Y'all can come in. We're getting carpet in the morning, so we need all of this.
In body camera video released by police to News 2, Larry and his wife do not ask many questions. They seem to know why he's getting arrested. A few hours earlier, Larry said Lexington police visited him regarding a Facebook post.
Just call me. I'll have my phone, okay? And I love you. Thank y'all. And he thinks that it's just, freedom of speech, And I try to think, this is... Yeah, but like he was saying earlier, we kind of have nothing to do with it. I understand. And I understand. Look, it's just y'all's job. I mean, y'all have to do what... Yeah. But hopefully it works out for y'all. I hope so. I hope so, too. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
A court affidavit ties Larry's arrest back to Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems. In a community Facebook group, someone posted about a vigil for conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Larry commented, "The sheriff saw it and messaged an investigator." We do not have access to the Facebook group to see Larry's comment for ourselves, but based on the quotes in the affidavit, Larry appears to have shared this meme from the gun safety group Everytown. It quotes President Trump saying, "We have to get over it," one day after the Perry High School mass shooting. According to the court affidavit, Larry said, "This seems relevant today."
We're going to need multiple ambulances. Multiple veterans found.
Everytown's meme references a shooting at Perry High School in Iowa in 2024. A 17-year-old boy killed 2 people and wounded 6 others before killing himself. President Donald Trump spoke about the shooting at a campaign event.
It's just horrible to see that happening. That's just horrible. So surprising to see it here. But we have to get over it. We have to move forward.
The affidavit accuses Larry of threatening mass violence at school. The arresting officer told him just as the body camera video ended.
And just to clarify, this is what they charged me with.
Okay.
Threatening mass violence at a school.
At a school?
It's referring to a school. I have no idea.
I know.
That's what they've called us for, and I ain't got a clue.
I played on Facebook. I threatened no one. I know you don't give it.
I ain't got a clue. I just had to do what I had to do.
I've been in Facebook.
I'm not saying you did or didn't do anything.
No, I did do, but I don't think I committed a crime.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you did or did not commit a crime.
I may have been a but I'm.
That's not illegal.
That was Nicole Smith reporting. The Perry County Sheriff sent a statement to News 2. It reads in part, quote, "Mr. Bushart was not brought to our attention simply because of his speech, but for the public repercussions of that speech. We coordinated with other departments to approach Mr. Bushart and provide options to de-escalate the situation before an arrest was made. Mr. Bushart declined to clarify his public messages and calm the situation that was causing multiple reasonable citizens to be in fear of their children's safety at school," end quote. You can read the full statement at WKRN.com. Now, we asked the sheriff which agency he worked with to ask Bushart to de-escalate or clarify his post because that was not mentioned in the affidavit or body camera video. The sheriff said Lexington Police. We asked Lexington's police chief if his agency was involved with that. He said no. Bushart is due back in court in December. In the meantime, he remains in jail on a $2 million bond.
Damn. 2 hours ago, charges dropped on Tennessee. I'm gonna go into it. I thought it was gonna be crazy. I thought it was gonna. A lot of people are saying all types of things online, but you got to pay attention to these things because eventually, he's trying to get rid of the Bible, man, and that's prophecy being fulfilled. So when any freedom of speech being implemented, even though Esau is saying a lot of shit online, people say a lot of crazy things online, but you just gotta be seasoned with salt, man. I thought he was talking about the duck. That's crazy that the duck even said what he said. Oh, we just got to get over it, man. Especially, it's all about timing, too, man. You say certain things after it just happened, man, that's tough, man. People get upset when you say certain things, how you say it. They feel like you don't care about their loss, especially if they're mourning someone that died, and then, you catch them in that time, and then who knows, man. But still, at the end of the day, I thought it was going to be about whatever he said, but it doesn't tell you in that. Let's see if he says something here.
You ladies, well, a man jailed over this Facebook meme quoting President Trump is free after more than a month in jail. The prosecutor for the Perry County suddenly dropped the case against Larry Bushart this afternoon. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Bushart was accused of threatening mass violence at school. News 2's Kelly Milan is live outside of Larry Bushart's home in Lexington, Tennessee with reaction. Kelly.
Bob and Haley, we actually just caught up with the retired officer before he even made it to his doorstep. He says he's happy to be home. He's excited to take a real shower and eat a real meal. Take a listen.
I'm a little dizzy because, it doesn't seem real. But I'm happy. But yeah, it's crazy. But
yeah,
I couldn't have. 2025's been a wild year. And yeah, I'm feeling good to be where we are right now.
What did you say, man?
Larry Bushart was arrested in September after sharing a meme quoting President Trump's comment following a 2024 school shooting in Iowa. Investigators said that sparked fear among parents who saw it on a Perry County Facebook group, leading to his arrest, captured on body cam footage. Take a listen.
And just to clarify.
So you telling me he just posted something on Facebook, they called the police on him, and he actually got arrested over a post on Facebook? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Esau, man. This shit crazy, man. This shit is crazy. That just goes to show you that the Lord he's about to wrap all this up, man. This is about to be wrapped up. You can say anything online is dangerous. If that's the case, you post anything online, it could be considered. That's something that the president said. He posted it and then made someone else feel bad. And I don't know. That doesn't make. But they dropped the charges. But Esau is scared about. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't even want to finish the video. I want to go to the book of Ezekiel, the 21st chapter. Okay. Insane. But that's what you got, man. This actually, let me go grab this in Amos 8 and 11. This is going to be a time where you say certain things, you bring out certain scriptures. I'm sure they're going to be saying the same thing. They'll be calling you hateful, saying that you blaspheming, that the scriptures don't say what they say. You know, they might be a large push from not even just from Esau, just from these other Edomites. Nah, you can't read that version of the Bible. King James version is banned. You know, brothers were just bringing out videos yesterday about how they're trying to get rid of the Bible app. So all these things come into play is all getting closer and closer to the Lord getting his word off the streets. Amos 8 and 11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So this is why we should be getting this word in us to the best of our ability. Because this is what it's really all about, man. Having this word in you so you can fulfill Isaiah 33 and 6. Okay? Not here trying to impress everybody with all the precepts, you know. It should be just getting the wisdom, man. Getting it in you. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So you want to be stable in those last days, because the majority of people, they're not going to be stable. They're going to be making the wrong decisions. They're already quick. They're already, it's I never seen people so, they really, they don't take any accountability. So how are they supposed to survive when the whole purpose is to repent and you know, humbling yourself? But the majority of people, their mind is on the wrong things, man. Their mind is on everything but getting their self right with the Lord. They want to focus on everybody else, and y'all could do that. Me personally, hey man, it tells you in Revelation 22. I'll grab it. the final message. Revelation 22:10. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. At this point, you know, if they don't get it, let them be unjust still. You know, the Lord told you his word doesn't go all void. If people don't want to accept the words, you know, then hey, it is what it is. We at the end. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. So just leave him alone. Let him be what he is, man. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Let's look this up. Okay, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You know, if people want to be right, hey, let him do what he's doing. Revelation 22:11 is a concluding warning that the time for change is over and individual destinies are now set. Yeah, so everyone's in their lot. Everyone's doing there's nothing out of order. Everybody is in their exact lot. Whatever you did yesterday, the day before, and all of that, that's what you're supposed to do. You were appointed to that lot. Whatever people are doing in this time, that's their lot. It means that the unrighteous will continue in their ways and the righteous will continue in theirs. And their character and choices have become fixed. Okay, so people are fixed in themselves to do evil or to be righteous. This is not an encouragement for evil, but a statement of finality, that those who have rejected God's offer of salvation will remain separated from him, while those who have chosen him will be holy forever. So we're going to continue to be holy, continue to be righteous, continue to practice the righteous acts. Okay, that's our lot to do that. A statement of finality. The verse indicates that the period for making a choice between good and evil has ended. It is a final and solemn warning that what you are is what you will be, emphasizing the urgency of repentance and faith before the end of time. Repentance, man. All right. So they didn't want to repent. They heard the word. It's at this point, you know, and if they didn't hear the word, they're going to hear it. And if they don't repent, they're going to be destroyed. They're going to continue in their wickedness. An ironic warning, not encouragement. The words are not a command to sin, but an ironic statement that those who persist in evil will continue to do so. The verse is often compared to Daniel 12:10, which says the wicked will act wickedly. That's right. I was just thinking about that precept. That's the spirit. Let me grab that. Yeah, the wicked is going to continue to act wickedly. Daniel 12:10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And that's ultimately the elect that are considered wise, because they're going to take heed to this word. Okay. What precepts I'm gonna look? I'm just seeing what it said. But the wicked would do wickedly. Let's see what precepts they give it. That's pretty much. I mean, I didn't want to get too far into it, but yeah. But the wise shall understand, and this is ultimately who it's for. It says, a call to persevere for the righteous. This verse is a call to remain steadfast and holy. Let's look at this word, steadfast. Steadfast. Steadfast means firmly fixed or loyal and unwavering. So you got to be firmly fixed in this truth if you come across it and you truly believe. You got to be firm in this thing, man. It can describe something physically immovable like a steadfast castle, or a person's character such as a steadfast friend who is firm in purpose, resolution, or faith. The term implies a strong, unwavering quality, whether it's a physical object, an emotional attachment, or determination to a belief or purpose. Yeah, you got to be steadfast, man. You know, unwavering, not allowing other people to get you out of this truth, get back into the world. Okay, you should be putting off the world more and more, especially if you see the signs that are coming. Housekeeping, humanoid robots, Facebook posts or reposts. You repost something, man, someone can take that and flip it around. You know, you sharing stuff, you know, you on the highways and hedges. There's so much information. If the Lord wanted to, it's like they can't even, that just shows you a hedge right there. You know, someone can stumble across while you on the internet. You might be live, see one of your videos and feel offended. Call the FBI on you. Not that they ain't watching you. Of course they watching you. Especially if you talking about the Bible, man. The wicked's supposed to watch. But this is why we need to trust in the Lord, because as it gets harder, you know, you're going to feel like, you know, you might want to give up. You might want to give up. You start seeing this persecution come. You should have counted the cost. This is why, even if you ain't in this truth, you're going to be persecuted anyway. Why not be persecuted for righteousness' sake? That's how you got to look at it, man. Because everybody's going to everyone's going to see going to go through Jacob's trouble. 1 Peter 4, verse 17, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? So if it first begin at us, it's going to happen regardless. But what about y'all who didn't want to take heed to the words? 1 Peter 4, verse 17 states that judgment begins with the household. Hold on, let me see if I get the meaning. It means that God's judgment will begin with believers, the house of God, before it comes to those who reject the gospel. So we all gonna get judged. This judgment is not the final eternal judgment, but rather a time of discipline and purification for Christians, which may include suffering to refine their faith. The verse serves as a warning. If God disciplines his own people, the consequences for those who refuse to obey the gospel will be far more severe. So I'd rather, what's that? Beaten with many stripes. Beaten with many stripes. Luke 12. Let's go there. Luke 12. Luke 12, and you know what? Be in readiness. I'll start at 35. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. I mean, you gotta be teaching this truth. You know, if that's your talent, you gotta be letting your light shine. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. And that's going into Matthew the 25th chapter with the 10 virgins. Okay, 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. You want to be ready, waiting for the door when the Lord returns, so you can open up to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. Okay, let's look at this. Luke 12 verse 8 describes the blessing that awaits servants who are found by their master to be awake and prepared when he returns. The master will then put on an apron, seat them at the table, and serve them his meal. The verse emphasizes the reward for the faithful, vigilant, and ready waiting. Okay, it's just like he says in Revelation 3 and 20, I stand at the door and knock. That's what he's doing. Ultimately, he's serving us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Revelation 3, verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. And that's him giving you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, that's him serving you the truth. Luke 12, verse 38. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. Yeah, first, second, or third watch. You know, the different watchmen used to take, you couldn't be on watch all the time, man. So they would take shifts just so they can always have people on watch. And he's saying, blessed are those servants who are awake and watching. Okay, they're looking, they're in the news. This is how we stand on our watchtower, pointing things out that's in the news, how it may pertain to prophecy. And some of it might not even, it might seem small, but it's still big, and it's still being diligent, watching and seeing these things come to pass. You know, getting used to keeping your eye open and watching through the Spirit. You know, it's like an exercise of constantly watching to see the Lord, waiting for the Lord to return. Luke 12, verse 39, and this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broken through. So if you knew somebody was going to rob your house, you would defend it. You knew you had information, all right, he's going to be here at 12 o'clock tonight. I'm not going to go to bed. No, I'm going to set up some traps. I'm going to be ready to fight for, you know, my stuff. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. Okay, it's not that he's going to just come overnight, you know. It's just that you could be asleep and really think. For some of y'all, it's going to be sudden, okay? Just like it tells you, because if you're watching, you already know. But if you're not watching, 1 Thessalonians 5, the day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Yeah, he has no need that we write unto the church of Thessalonica, because they already know the truth. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And just like the believers know today, we understand that he's going to come as a thief in the night to those who don't believe. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For God hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who died for us, not the whole world, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. Okay, and that's where we just standing on our watch, looking at the times unfold. You know, everything's right around the corner. Okay, so we know the Lord's nearer than we believe. Okay, Romans 13 and 11. Just from things that are playing out in the world. At that time, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. So we don't have time to be sleep. It's time to wake up, man. Time to serve the Lord. The night is far spent. The day is at hand, okay? So the day, the morning star, the Lord, he's coming. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light, which is the truth, which is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So you're not even supposed to make provisions for the flesh, man. You know? Oh, I just want to still be a demon. Just do that, man. And if you lukewarm, he's going to spit you out too. You think you in the truth, but at the same time you in the world. Good luck with that. See how far that gets you. Luke 12 and verse 40. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? And the Lord said, Who then is the faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? That's what we're doing, giving you your portion of meat in due season, because this is a time for you to receive the truth. Okay? Blessed is the servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. And that's what we're doing. We're getting the truth the same way we got it. We're sharing it with whoever. Ultimately for the rest of the elect. Luke 12 verse 44, of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he have, and he has everything. Okay, everyone has their portion that the Lord, and some people are gonna have more than others. Some people are gonna have 5 cities, some 10, some 20. So who knows what the Lord got for you, man? You know, but it's all when it's all said and done, you deserve what He gave you, though. You're gonna earn whatever He gave you. You're gonna know, hey, it's righteous. He's gonna make sure you get what you deserve. Luke 12, verse 45. And if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink and be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, meaning cut him in two, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers, which is death. You're gonna die. That's your portion, man. To die through death by pain. Luke 12, verse 47, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So if you were a servant which knew the Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So you're going to be hurt, man. He's going to beat you with many stripes for knowing what to do and not doing it. Luke 12, verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. Yeah, you knew not. You didn't get this truth. You're still going to get beaten, just with few stripes. But you don't want to be the man who understand that knew the Lord's will, didn't prepare yourself. You knew you were an Israelite. You knew the name of the Lord, but you still wanted to be in the world. You didn't want to come into the truth. You didn't want to repent. You didn't want to keep the law, statutes, commandments. You still wanted to be wicked, pretty much. You're going to be beaten with many stripes, man. Ultimately, He going to hurt you, man. Okay, but if you didn't know and you did things that were worthy of stripes, you're going to be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Okay, so if He gave you more, you got a more portion of the Spirit. He gave you more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He expects more out of you. Okay, so if you got it like that, and the Lord set you up to be somebody in His truth, and you ain't fulfilling that role, the portion that He gave you, then that's required. You're gonna get stripes for that. Luke 12, verse 48, often quoted as to whom much is given, much will be required, means that people who have been blessed with more have a greater responsibility to use their blessings to serve others. Okay, so if you've been blessed with more, that can come in a multitude of things. You know, you have a greater responsibility to serve others. The verse establishes a principle of graduated responsibility, where judgment is based on what a person has been given, whether that be knowledge, spiritual gifts, or earthly possessions. Those with more are accountable for how they use what they have been given and will face a greater consequence for unfaithfulness. So, you know, I'm glad I have probably more than I need, you know, but, you know, it's still, it might not seem like a lot, but it could be used, you know, to help brothers out. You know, whether it be the knowledge, spiritual gifts, or earthly possessions. You know, and those are just a couple of things, man. Those are a couple of things. It could be anything to help a brother out. You know, if you can help a brother out, hey, do it. Do it. But you got to know who you're doing it to, too. All right? Lord's not asking you to just be a fool, man. But if you can help. But if you can't, hey, the Lord knows, man. Accountability. The verse emphasizes that what you have been given is not just for your own benefit, but it comes with the expectation of accountability. Stewardship, it calls people to be faithful stewards of their gifts, talents, and resources, using them for a higher purpose rather than for selfish gain. Consequences for unfaithfulness. The context of the verse suggests that unfaithful stewards who abuse their position will be judged more harshly than those who did not have as much knowledge or responsibility. So I don't, you know, I look at it the same way, man. Whatever the Lord gave me, hey, I'm trying to increase that, you know. But sometimes you don't know what you're doing for others. It might not come in a way that you're gonna see with your own eyes, but you know, could, you know, that's why it's good to just do the work to the best of your ability, be obedient to the best, do everything to the best of your ability. Serve the Lord with all your heart. Applies to various blessings. The much can refer to many different things such as spiritual gifts, God's grace, the word of God, or even worldly advantages like education and opportunity. Call to action. Ultimately, it is a call to action for believers to live in a way that reflects their understanding of God's grace and their commitment to serving others with integrity and compassion. That's the best way to put it. I'm going to end it here. Lord's will.